Well, hello and welcome. Welcome. I am Ellie Paskell, and this is the Radically Embodied You somatic journey. When your native instincts are allowed to flow free, who do you become? It's time to find out. It's time to bring back the deeply true you and let their unfettered impulses recreate our world. This is a space in which you will retrieve pieces of your native soma. That's every level of who you really are. For freedom, integrity, vitality, for knowing, and for delight. And I am filled with delight in this moment, being able to say that we are opening this session, beginning your journey with the Radically Embodied You, and we are opening this whole retreat. The magic that sits in the middle of this retreat has been brewing in me for decades, and I'm delighted that you're going to be nourished by it now, right? So if we haven't met before, I'm Ellie Paskell, and who am I? Well, that's a big question. I am a woman. I am the creator and the host of this retreat. I am an embodied feeler, an embodied revolutionary, a creative, and a somatic soul coach. I support bold, visionary beings to create the lives that feel the way you desire to feel. And I support those souls, and I believe I'm talking to you now. I support you to do that by following the guidance in your body, right? The body is so wise, and I came to know this, I came to learn this. My journey with it began about 15 years ago when I was in my 20s, and my body started to shut down, and I didn't know what was happening, and what was arising in me was symptoms that could be called chronic fatigue or elements of post-traumatic stress disorder. And I tried to ignore it for a long time. And the world that I lived in, Western medicine, my doctor, the environments, the people I tended to be with, they didn't have the answers to what was happening in me. And deep down I knew I need to surrender and follow my body. And eventually I did. And since that time, I've spent tens of thousands of hours in communion with her, listening to my body away from modern society, and she has guided me back to everything that I dreamed of: joy, healing, the right people, places, events, support. And, it's really important to note that everything that I've since learned from trainings in holistic healing modalities, and indeed science, has corroborated what my body taught me first, right? So your body is wise. And of course, your guru is not me. Your guru is your body. And I'm going to continuously support you to remember that and come back to your felt sense knowing throughout this session and beyond. It's going to be spectacular. So take a breath with that now. So in this session today, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? It might look like this. Joy, it might look like sadness, it might look like mess. It might look like, well, this is in terms of inside of us, but so the first half of the session is going to begin. I'm going to support you to drop into your felt sense and see what's there. And I'm going to give you some sacred information about this journey that you are stepping onto today. And in the second half of this session, we're going to take a longer, delicious embodiment journey. And during that, I'm going to support you to tune in to what's brought you here. Why have you signed up? Why are you here? What are you desiring and needing? And you're going to celebrate. I'm holding space for you to celebrate. Today is a turning point for you. Today is a turning point for the world when hundreds or thousands more of us are connecting to our bodies and opening to this wonderful somatic process and magic that I have discovered that I am going to share with you. And in this session, you are going to meet the radically embodied you. Be excited. So now we're going to begin as we mean to go on and take just a few minutes to really drop into the body and welcome her, him, or them. So you may want to change position, lie down, or make sure that you have the blankets or the cushions or whatever you need to be as comfortable as possible. Yeah. And if it feels good for you, I invite you to bring a hand to the heart space and to your belly. And to notice that here you are in your body. You may want to let your eyes close or just let them rest with a soft gaze. Notice the air in your skin, that you are alive and you have senses. You have all kinds of processes happening within you, and notice how it feels to be breathing. The journey that you are beginning today is along it, you're going to experience yourself in a whole new way. And we begin this with radical welcoming. This is never about trying to change or having to be different than you are. It is always about simply allowing what is alive inside of you to take its space. Allowing even more of what is to be. So let's see what is now, and just gently allow your awareness to drop down, taking in your feet and your legs. Whether there's sensation or lack of sensation. In your hips and between your legs. In your belly and lower back. In your mid-torso and mid-back. Your heart space and upper back. Welcoming what's here. Sensation, emotion. Lack of those things, numbness is welcome. And your shoulders, arms and hands. And neck and throat. And head and face. And then again, whatever is here, noticing now the whole of your internal landscape, letting it take its space. Maybe it's clear to you, maybe it's subtle or unknown, all is welcome. You are exactly where you need to be. And stay present now with your body as I deepen into some explanation about the process you're stepping into and how it's come into being. And we'll begin that now with a story. And as the light fell and the moon rose, a tiny one turned to her mother, her grandmother, and her great-grandmother and began to speak. "How did we get here?" she asked. "What's occurred and what is to come?" The fire they were gathered around crackled, and the women stirred ever so slightly until the child's great-grandmother was ready and replied, "Human beings, just like the animals, trees, earthlands, and seas, are born with a system of glowing channels inside. These pathways are wise, precious, and flow like the sea. What flows in them tells us what feels good, how to act, and links us to all and everything there is. This inner network is sacred, pulsing as it does with the energy of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And this energy sparks our impulses to do. So, the grandmother sat up a little straighter and took the baton of speech. When a human follows the guidance in their body, they are aligning with everything and everyone else in the natural world. Take a breath into your body, little one. You are young. Your channels are still intact. But we are born into a land, most of us, that encourages the breaking of bonds with inner flow. So wedded the world is with how things are. So invested it can be in ideas that do not align with the body's language of love. It is trying its best, but this is how it is for today. Many human children are surrounded, therefore, by things that are confusing, norms and ways that feel wrong, but they learn to do as the grown ones did, numbing their emotions and honoring the outside world instead of their inner voice, so that over time, touch is lost with who they are and how to follow their soul. But the body will never forget how to guide you home. And for those who do go astray, their being simply waits as long as it takes until they are ready, until that sacred, shining time and day. And continue to the girl's mother now, taking her daughter's cheeks in her palms. Now is the time. We are redirecting our world from fear to love. And first, we must align with the loving flow inside. That's why you're here. That's why you asked your question today. And that's why there are hundreds and thousands of beings across the globe right now listening to its answer. It's time to be clear and bold and wild and true. Follow what feels right. Follow what feels Follow what feels truly tasty and good to you. And at that, the tiny one smiled and curled up in her mother's lap, where we leave her, sleeping soundly in the knowing that there are thousands of grown ones across the globe, poised to journey with their bodies and breathe love back into the land. And so it is. So it is for your joy, for your vitality, and for the rebirthing of our whole world at this pinnacle and transitory time. It is time for you, and I'm talking to you now, taking part at home. It is time. It is time. It is time. It is time. It is time for you to welcome the ostracized or hidden parts of yourself home again. It is time for your emotions, your sensations, and your impulses to take their space. It is time to bring back the radically embodied you. So take a breath with that, right? My knowing at this time is that we've all turned into truth monkeys. The whole world has turned into a truth monkey. Layers and veneers are being removed in every corner of life. Truths are outing, right? And, you know, I'm curious as I say that, again, this piece of what's brought you here? What of your truth are you wanting to set free? For me, my radically embodied being arose in real earnest when I needed her a number of years ago. When I was really feeling the tumultuous nature of the world, and I knew that I needed to get right in my center. And I began to notice, I realized that I wasn't, and I thought I had been. But there was still great swathes of me that I was hiding in order to please the world. And there was just this really loud part in me that was like, what are we doing? This is my life. This is my being. And truly, you know, I'd be journeying with my body for a very long time already at that point, and I knew that truth and integrity was what meant joy. Truth and integrity was the same as these inner channels inside of me flowing, and that's synonymous with health and joy. And that's what I'm here for now. And sometimes it's scary to let go of the people pleasing. What will people think? Who will I become? But it always leads to magic. And what happens as we welcome our radically embodied beings is they, in a similar way to working with an archetype or a goddess or an ascended master, they become a guide. They become a tangible, felt sense, and perhaps also in your mind, a vision of them, a guide who will show you how to basically experience more health and joy, how to show up, what you're desiring, what you need. Which again has this beautiful side effect, or immense secondary or perhaps primary effect of birthing pieces of our new world. Because when you align with your true flow, you're aligning with love. It's just simply how it works. And this can all sound pretty serious. And while it is important, it's also important to say that this is about fun. Oh, fundamentally, this is about freedom, right? This is a golden ticket invitation to wild emancipation. So take a breath with that and notice how it lands in your body. Notice how it lands in your body. Emancipation. What does that feel like? So my wondering is, what are you ready to let yourself feel? Ooh, and who are you ready to let yourself be? And essentially it's the same thing. I'm curious, like, is there a silly one in you, an angry one, a tired one, a rebellious one who has just had enough, a quiet one, a shy one, a wacky one, a one who wants to move or speak or dress or show up in another way? Or are you simply beginning with a desire for freedom and vitality and following that one breadcrumb at a time? What's true for you? And throughout this retreat, all of this is going to be cradled in this session and in the sessions that are coming after. You're going to be continuously supported to flow free from your insides in the most wondrous of ways. And your journey is going to look completely unique to you. But there's some things that well might happen. You may literally feel like parts of your body are coming back to life. You are very likely to experience greater access to certain emotions. You are very likely to experience increased vitality, and profound physical healing is available here. And you are very likely to experience whole new or old parts of yourselves coming back again and inviting you to let them out. So take a breath with that. Again, always present with the fact that you are in a body and how she, he, or they are responding. What's resonating? So as you journey, opening to your radically embodied being, you're going to constantly be flowing and dancing between your internal experience, and it's possible for you, your experience will be very internal, allowing the emotions, the sensations, the impulses to flow. And at times you may also feel guided, or it might just happen that it becomes a lot about expression. And you're also going to be dancing between your mind and your body. Different ways that you're going to be experiencing your radically embodied being. And while the body comes first in this space, the mind is a beautiful thing and it is very much involved. So with that in mind, if your hands are no longer in contact with your body and it feels good, I invite you to bring them back. So maybe hands on belly or heart space or both. And notice what you can feel. Can you feel energy or the warmth of your skin? Can you feel the flesh? Feel how you are an ocean of atoms and cells, all dancing together. Notice that there's many layers to your experience, thoughts, emotions, impulses, and truly they're all one. So everything that you think instantly affects your emotions. And what happens in your emotional body is and instantly affects your energy body and the shape that it's taking. And your energy body permeates through this, what we might call the physical body, and also extends beyond your skin, and it's constantly shape-shifting, affecting your moment-to-moment experience of life and yourself. And over time, your energy body creates, affects utterly what you experience as your physical body, the shape of it, how it feels, how it's functioning. So you are constantly shape-shifting. You are constantly instilled in this ocean of ebbing and flowing experience. And so when you play with allowing all parts of you to take their space, you are inviting profound shifts in your being, right? One level of your experience affects another, like this beautiful sequence of waves. So for example, in a session, in this retreat, we have a person, hello person, and they are in a session, and in the session they experience an awakening in their lower back. Suddenly, they realize they can feel the energy there, and it feels alive and it feels vitalizing, and they notice that throughout that day, the energy still feels, well, they're aware of their lower back in a way that they haven't been. And as the week goes on, they experience energy dominoing down their legs. And suddenly they feel way more connected to the earth. And on the Friday of that week, they go to a work event and they come across their boss, who usually they're a real pushover with and always saying yes to things that they don't want to do. And their boss asks them to do something and they say no. All of a sudden, this utterly organic flow of impulse arises in them before they even know what they're doing. The word no is out of their mouth because they have initially just welcomed this new energy into their body, which created more grounding, more sense of centeredness, more sense of solidity, and created a whole new alignment in their being, which welcomed new action without them even planning it. Right? So this is a beautiful example and illustration of how, when we allow our insides to flow more, it literally affects who we are. And it can work both ways. So it's very likely that throughout this retreat, your radically embodied being, versions of them will show up in your mind's eye. An image of who you're ready to be, or an element of your personality that you're ready to let out, or even just play with in private, in the woods. Maybe you want to wear something else or move a different way, or show up in a new way with the people that you love. And this has come from this image in your mind of your radically embodied being perhaps doing it, or so okay, that's the next thing. And then you find that as you play with showing up with this perhaps new personality trait, things happen inside your body. All of it is one. And while this is playful and you don't even need to understand it, you simply need to follow what feels right in your body, one session at a time. It's important still to say that you are playing, but you're not playing with toys. You're playing with power tools. And as you do so, you are reclaiming your power. So, wondrousness. We are now going to go into our main somatic practice of this session. So it's going to be a good 10 minutes, maybe longer, and take a breath of noticing how do you want to be positioned for this? Lying, sitting, standing. You may even want to move in the practice. Do you have space? If you're feeling that that might happen. And as you're ready, I invite you to, settle into the position in which you are most comfortable. Perhaps with cushions under the knees, checking your temperature. And now notice that you're breathing. And with each exhale, allow yourself to partner with gravity a little more, letting go. So that the furniture or the ground and essentially Mother Earth are holding you 10% more. On your exhales, allowing yourself to be held and welcoming yourself just as you are now. Whether there's emotion here, lack of emotion, inspiration, knowing, fuzziness, clarity, all of you gets to be here. And take a moment to celebrate and honor that you are here in this session, beginning this journey to freedom, journey that is woven with self-love and respect. And now, with your next breath, allow your awareness to be infused with a golden glow. And allow it to leave this moment and journey back to when you were a tiny baby. See your wriggliness. See how vital you were, how your inner channels glowed. And see how what you are glowing with is your essence. This essence was crafted from the blueprint of your soul when you took the decision to come here into this body. And notice what this essence of you is like. Does it have a color? Does it have a frequency? Does it have personality? And see again how the baby you was infused with this essence, that you were utterly yourself, flowing from your native impulses. You knew when you were hungry, you knew when you were uncomfortable, you knew what felt good, and you let the world know about it. And as you're ready, I want you to take a breath into that experience. So maybe you're with the visual, or maybe you're really feeling into what it was like to have your inner channels flowing with such a glow. Your unencumbered you-ness. And now, as you're ready, allow your awareness to travel forward again into your childhood. And see how freely your inner channels were flowing then. and see how they asked you to move, how they asked you to be so full of your you-ness, the essence of you. And how did it feel at the point in your childhood when you were as much you as you ever have been? And I'm curious to know for you whether as you moved through your childhood, any of that internal flow got tucked away, whether any of your channels became blocked. Perhaps you received messages from the world that you might be liked more if you hid certain bits of you. How does that land for you when I say it? What was true for you as a kid? How much were your insides flowing freely? And now take a breath into your body in this moment, dear one. Noticing what you feel, if there's anything arising, sensation or emotion. And as you're ready, let your awareness be imbued with this gold glow again. And let it slide forward so that you're journeying into your young adulthood. What was alive for you as a young adult? How much of your essence was flowing freely? And were there any more bits of you that got tucked away, hidden, blocked off? What happened for you at this time? Were you vibrantly yourself? Were you contorting and pleasing the world, or somewhere in between? And as you're ready now, allow your awareness to gently glide forward again. So you move through your adulthood and land where you are now. As you are in this moment, presencing with real kindness and respect. And tune into your inner channels now. So maybe you get a visual, a sense of how your inner channels are flowing or not flowing. Or maybe you can really feel in. Feeling where there's flow, freedom. And feeling where there's parts of you hidden. Maybe there's sense of constriction or tension, or just a knowing inside of you that there's parts of you hidden away, don't usually get to come out. How much right now are your insides flowing with your essence? And with your next breath, having noticed where there is blockages in your inner channels, whether that's been a subtle noticing or very clear. Which of these blockages are you ready to release this week and today? And maybe it's all of them. You get to go at the exact pace that's right for you, and your body will tell you what that is. Your body never forgot how to guide you home. The essence of you never left your being. And it is time to let it flow. Ooh, and with your next breath, invite in the energy of ocean. And this isn't just any ocean. This is your ocean. It flows with your essence. Does it have a color, a frequency, a feeling, a texture? So this ocean is moving in. Perhaps you feel it flowing gently around you, bringing fluidity or movement. Perhaps you're actually allowing this ocean to move into you. Oh, and maybe it's beginning already to let your channels unblock. Oh, welcoming a flow. And maybe this is happening in a calm way, or maybe it feels wild. You know, maybe you want to stand now. Maybe you want to wiggle. Whew. Whew. What is this ocean inviting to flow within you? Whew. What is this ocean inviting to flow within you? Ooh, and maybe you're noticing emotions coming online, or impulses, or knowings. Maybe you want to laugh, or cry, or curl up in a ball, or stomp about. As this essence moves through you, as you're flowing with this ocean, what is being unblocked? And who are you welcoming? And who are you welcoming yourself to become? And now with your next breath, let this ocean carry you, carrying you through beautiful landscape to land finally in a whole new realm. And you arrive here with your feet on solid ground now. And you take in where you've been brought to. This is a space of ultimate permission, where everything that you are ready to let yourself be, whether wacky and wild, whether subtle and internal. It's time for you to let your true wings spread, and this landscape welcomes all of that. And now something happens. Something happens in the landscape which makes you know that something really important is here. Something really important has just happened. And as you glance around in your mind's eye, you realize that you have been joined by the radically embodied you. And they are appearing to you just as you are, just as they are right now. So if your sense of your radically embodied being is in quite a state of becoming, maybe they appear to you simply as an energy, a color, or you just sense that they're there. Or maybe you've really already got a strong visual. Your radically embodied you has burst into this space with some very clear invitations through how they are moving, or perhaps how they're dressed, or how you can see them speaking or sounding, or anything else. This pathway to emancipation that they're flowing for you simply by way of their presence, of demonstrating to you who you are desiring to let yourself be. How are they appearing to you now? And how does it feel in your body to be present with them? And now I invite you to look into their eyes, or if they're more of an etheric or energetic presence at this point, look to where you know they are. And as you connect with them, let the knowing that you're about to take an incredible journey with your radically embodied you. Let that knowing flow into you. And feel how much love the radically embodied you has for you. They are love. And feel how much clarity and fire and integrity they have. Feel how they have absolutely no care for the fear-based, upside-down ridiculousness of this world. That they are here to bring you guidance and root you into clarity, strength, vitality, freedom, and joy. And take a breath, or 7 of celebration now for being at the start of this incredible experience. And as you're ready, you can let your radically embodied you, in the form that they've appeared to you now, you can let them go. And knowing that you're going to be spending a lot of time with them in the coming days and weeks and perhaps years. And you can rejoin with them anytime you need. And as you're ready, allow that golden glow of your awareness again to support you to travel back from this realm of ultimate permission, which again you can step back into anytime you need, and land back in your here and now, in your living space, wherever you are. And you may want to keep your eyes closed now, even as I move into some more words, a little bit more logic. Or you may want to blink some light into your eyes. I invite you to stay present with your body regardless, perhaps allowing yourself to just keep noticing that you're breathing. Yeah. Wow. I feel full of green tingles in my heart space to have guided you on that journey. And I invite you to notice what is here for you now. Emotionally, are you excited? Have things arisen? Is there stuff already that you know that you need, that you're setting free? What is here? Mm. Mm. It is my heart-crafted intention that this retreat and your welcoming of the radically embodied you set your world alight in all of the ways that you're needing, wanting, and desiring. And you're going to find that they start to show up in all different areas of your life when you least expect it. Beautiful new knowings, impulses, magic of more freedom, more aliveness. And I know that you're here because you really want to show up in the world in this way that is true to you. No more pretense, right? The true you returns today, and that's not just for this week. And of course, part of the fun and games of opening to this is that the parts of you that we can call them gremlins or inner critics that can be knocking about, that are the voices which kept you confined, which might bring the shame, might make you hold back from who you really are, or have made you hold back. They may pop up. That's okay. Every time they pop up, when you meet them in a loving way with presence and awareness, it's a healing, and they're likely to pop up. And it's really important to me that you have the tools and the support to keep showing up as your true self, to keep tuning into the radical support and the love and the honoring of the universe and the ancestors and everything in the natural world that is here behind you, cheerleading you on, wanting you to step into greater freedom all the time. And so I have created something incredibly beautiful, which is going to happen a few days after this retreat ends. We are all going to come together in a community session live on Zoom on the 4th of April. No, the 5th of April. The 5th of April, 4:30 UK time, 11:30 a.m. New York time, and you'll receive the Zoom link for that soon. You can join this for free. And we're going to come together, and it's going to be both an instilling and a celebration of what's arisen for you. You can have another power shot of connection with your radically true you in my presence, in the presence of all the others journeying with you. And also, I'm going to share tools with you. I'm going to share tools that are going to support you to stay in your center, keep flowing with freedom, keep loving and honoring and welcoming who you really are, to be present and act in the world, even if those shame voices arise, even if those gremlins are there, right? So you're going to be able to keep going with this and let it flow and meld and blossom and deepen weeks and months and years into the future. So take a breath with that and take a breath into your body again. Hello, incredible vessel that I live in. And now, as we begin to wind this session to a close, I extend the invitation to go straight from this into my first somatic art session. So this is a short session, and there's going to be one of these every day when the retreat is broadcasting. And in these sessions, I am sharing the pieces of art that I have created over my 10-year journey with my body. I call them my pictures of the felt sense, and I'm sharing them with the intention for you to be inspired and for you to journey even more creatively with your own radically embodied being. So you can access that session on the same webpage just lower down. And very soon you're going to receive another email from me, or if you're not in the UK, you may well already have it, which is telling you the other beautiful sessions that are coming up today. There is music, there is invitation to move, so much beauty. So as ever, I invite you to tune into your body and follow what feels good as you decide the order in which to do those sessions. And what else do I need to say before we close? I need to tell you that I love you, that I'm honoring your path, that the whole universe has got your back as you walk it or flow it or fly it. And now, before we close, let's all take one more breath together, noticing how it feels to breathe. You know, time and space aren't really real, and energetically we are all together. And now you may want to stay for a little longer, just inward with eyes closed with your body. Or if you're needing to transition perhaps to the art session, I invite you to let your eyes open. Hello. I am wishing you a beautiful onward journey with the radically embodied you. And I will see you soon.